Hello, my name is Charlie Schempf, and this is my digital text project. I conducted my interview with Mr. Steve Inslee, the director of the IESA. All right, the IESA stands for the Illinois Elementary School Association. The IESA's mission is to provide students opportunities to participate and organize extracurricular events for middle school age students, and to improve the quality of coaches and role models for these students, and to also improve quality of sportsmanship for all. The ISA is a member affiliate of the NCAA bylaws, and also a member affiliate of the IHSA. The IHSA is the Illinois High School Association. The ISA usually serves students between grades 5th through 8th. As you can see over here to the right, there's a picture of the lobby at the IESA office. You can see that they have the trophies and medallions in the middle. That's what teams will receive for participating and winning in the state series that the IESA provides. The IESA provides a regional and sectional and state qualifying series for teams that participate within the IESA and make a run, similar to what you would see in the IHSA and how they have their postseason play. We'll get into more of that as we go along with the presentation. But that's a picture of the lobby. I got to spend some time in there and talk to the secretaries and talk to some of the people that work in there. It's a very nice place. The IESA office is located in Bloomington, Illinois, right off Market Street, so it's close to campus and very convenient. All right, some of the events that the ISA has and allows kids to participate in is, as you can see here, baseball, basketball, wrestling, girls basketball, softball, volleyball, boys and girls bowling, cross country, golf, track and field, cheer activities, and then they also have events such as chess, music, scholastic bowl, and speech. When I spoke with Mr. Inslee, he wanted to make sure that there's opportunities for all kinds of different students, and not just the aim, the focus of the IESA Association as in focusing on the main sports like as basketball and baseball, but to make sure that there's events for all kinds of students, and to make sure that there's a wide variety of events for kids to participate in, because the main focus that they would like is for kids to participate in organized extracurricular activity events and making sure that there's something for all different kinds of students. All right, so Mr. Inslee's role as the director. As the director, he oversees 8 full-time board of directors. 8 full-time board of directors are in charge of getting referees, making sure schools follow guidelines as the way they participate within the IESA. The director is responsible for all the activities that take place under the IESA rules and regulations. He explained to me that anything good or anything bad, it's going to reflect on him as the director. So he makes sure that these board of directors who work full-time are on top of the game, making sure that the officials and schools are properly registered and officials are properly registered and that everyone is doing their own part, because it goes a long ways of not just having the event, but medals need to be ordered, and there needs to be paid positions within the school districts, and they need to be working hand in hand with school districts to make sure everyone's on the same page and following guidelines so that everybody has a good experience while they participate under the IESA. As you can see over here to the left, there's a picture, and it says here at the bottom of the screen that the director is in charge of creating school districts for each event. I kind of touched on it a little bit when we were talking about the regional and sectional play in the state series. The IESA does provide all those, and the director's job is to pair these schools up or match these schools up and put them in the groups of regionals and sectionals. And the director, Mr. Inslee, took me through the process in which he goes this. He marks down all the schools, and an example over here to the left is the Class 1A baseball. So in Class 1A baseball, there is a certain amount of schools that participate within Class A baseball, and he has them all pinned out on the map here in the state of Illinois. And then he goes by and takes rubber bands or strings, and he districts these teams and putting them into different regionals and sectionals before they end up at the state tournament. And it's his job to make sure that he provides and puts himself in each school's place for their traveling and for their postseason experience. You can see that you try to get teams that are in the same demographic area. It makes it easier on traveling, makes it easier on officials, it makes it easier on the school district, and the families, and of course the kids that are participating. So you can see he pairs them up into different regionals and sectionals and events, and then he moves them on until they move on until they have a sectional placement and then eventually the state series. So it's a really neat experience to kind of sit there and see how it works behind the scenes, and you can see at the top of the picture there's a list of all the schools that are participating there. So he's got to really take account for every school, and he's got to do this for each class. So that's one of the responsibilities that the director has. Also, the director is also responsible for attending the IESA State Series and overseeing anything that happens within the guidelines. All right. Who is Mr. Steve Ensley? This is a picture of Mr. Ensley, the director of the IESA. All right, a little bit about Mr. Ensley. I got time to talk to him, and it was a nice, extensive process and interview that you could say. Mr. Ensley, he's from Peoria, Illinois. He graduated from Illinois State University. He was an education major at Illinois State University. And then after he got done, he taught 7th and 8th grade science and health over at Pekin Edison and Pekin, Illinois. So that's kind of how we kind of got started, where he's from. Mr. Ensley explained to me that the role and the motivation that he got to become the IESA director is from his father's superintendent role. His father was a superintendent at a Peoria high school, and he said that he explained it as osmosis is what he kind of said, the way that he attended lots of events as a child and growing up, and as he was a teacher and as he was at Illinois State. He said he attended a lot of sporting events, and not just sporting events, but he attended a bunch of events as in music and theater and stuff like that, and he got to see the role that everyone plays in it, and it was his motivation being around that to kind of change the pace from being a teacher. And he said a role opened up and a position opened up in Bloomington to work at the IESA, and he applied for it and got the position, and he's been there now for 29 years and has been the director for 18. So how does the IESA director have any relation to me as a physical education major? So the main thing is in the IESA, the coach is a role model, and I think that has something to do with the way I'm heading in my path of education. Is no matter what, I think being a great role model for students is something that I'm going to be doing, whether I'm coaching or as a teacher. Is being a good role model and setting a good example for the students. I think the IESA does a great job of allowing people like me as an educator to have an impact on students' lives that goes beyond the classroom, and this is a way that it gets done. So just being a teacher versus a coach, I got to find the difference, and the way and strategies that I will apply myself to affect these students will be a little bit different between the way I am as a teacher and the way I am a coach. But the IESA allows teachers to become coaches and work within this affiliation, so it's great. Something that we talk about in my major is the affective domain, and that is to teach students responsibilities such as teamwork and working within groups of students and their peers. And I think the ISA does a great job of allowing that to happen. They allow us to have an impact on the way that we teach students and the way that we affect kids' lives by giving them responsibilities and giving them tasks and asking them to relate with their peers and relate with their friends and to have a responsibility and to go with that. So I think it's a huge opportunity for us to impact students, and it's very appreciative because I've had a chance to work underneath IESA and as a coach, and it's been a great opportunity to impact my students. So, and I believe working underneath IESA and has allowed me to become a better educator. It's going to make me become a better educator. So, yeah. So, like I said, as a teacher relationship to go with the IESA, if you're a certified teacher, you automatically are qualified to be a coach within the IESA, and to be to go along with that, for your school to be to participate in the IESA, they have to be ISB, so Illinois State Board of Education qualified. So it allows public and private schools to as long as they're recognized by the ISBE, they are allowed to participate in the IESA. Of course, there's some other rules and guidelines that go along with that falls in the school district, but it gives opportunity for public and private schools to participate in these events. And you can see here I put down the link of the IESA website, www.iesa.org. If you go to their website, they have everything from all the records and all the events, and can give parents directions to games, and talks about who's in charge, administration, athletic directors. It has pictures, it has all the state series results, and it gives you all the regionals and sectionals assignments, and it goes through a whole process there, and it's a great website if to look up any information about, if you have information about schools or demographic areas, or just wondering on who's participating and how to participate and stuff like that. And it also has the mission and the guidelines that the IESA represents. So that's on here that you can look at, which is also, I think, is good. And there you have it. I really enjoyed my interview. I got to sit down with Mr. Ensley. He's a great guy. He's a good role model, and excited that he took the time out of his day to work with me and to kind of give me some kind of information to go along with my coaching and teaching here in the future.